Hello, my dear students. Welcome to Teacher at Home. Today, class, we are going to learn the second chapter, Physical Features of India. We have already learned earlier that India is a vast country with varied landforms. What kind of terrain do you live in? If you live in the plains, you are familiar with the vast stretches of plain land. In contrast, if you live in hilly region, the rugged terrain with mountains and valleys are common features. In fact, our country has practically all major physical features of the earth: mountains, plains, deserts, plateaus, and islands. The land of India displays great physical variation. Geologically, the Peninsula Plateau constitutes one of the ancient land masses on the Earth's surface. It was supposed to be one of the most stable land blocks. The Himalayas and the northern plains are the most recent landforms. From the viewpoint of geology, Himalayan mountains form an unstable zone. The whole mountain system of Himalaya represents a very youthful topography with high peaks, deep valleys, and fast flowing rivers. The northern plains are formed of alluvial deposits. Peninsula Plateau is composed of igneous and metamorphic rocks with gently rising hills and wide valleys. Major physiographic divisions. The physical features of India can be grouped under the following physiographic divisions, such as the Himalayan mountains, northern plains, Peninsula Plateau, the Indian desert, coastal plains, and the islands. Himalayan mountains. Himalayas, geologically young and structurally four mountains, stretch over the northern borders of India. These mountain ranges run in a vast east direction from the Indus to the Brahmaputra. Himalayas represent the loftiest and one of the most rugged mountain barriers of the world. They form an arc which covers a distance of about 2,400 km. The width varies from 400 km in Kashmir to 150 km in Arunachal Pradesh. Altitudinal variations are greater in the eastern half than those in the western half. Himalaya consists of three parallel ranges in its longitudinal extent. The number of values lie between these ranges. The northernmost range is known as the Great or Inner Himalayas or the Himadri. It is the most continuous range, consisting of the loftiest peak with an average height of 6,09,000 meters. It contains all prominent Himalayan peaks. Some highest peak of the Himalayas, that is the Mount Everest, country Nepal, 8,848 meters. Kanchenjunga, India, 8,598 meters. Makalu, Nepal, 8,481 meters. Dhaulagiri, Nepal, 8,172 meters. Nanga Parvat, India, 8,126 meters. Annapurna, Nepal, 8,078 meters. Nanda Devi, India, 7,817 meters. Kamath, India, 7,756 meters. Nameha Namcha India, 7,756 meters. Gurla Mahata, Nepal, 7,728 meters. The folds of the Great Himalayas are asymmetrically in nature. The core of this part of Himalayas is composed of a granite. It is perennially snowbound, and a number of glaciers descend from this range. The name of the glaciers and passes that lie in the Great Himalayas. The name of the states where the highest peaks are located. The range lying to the south of the Himadri forms the most rugged mountain system and is known as the Himachal or Lesser Himalaya. The ranges are mainly composed of highly compressed and altered rocks. The altitude varies between 3,700 and 4,500 meter, and the average width is of 50 km, while the Pippanjal range forms the longest and the most important range. The Dauladhar and the Mahabharat ranges are also prominent ones. This range consists of a famous valley of Kashmir, the Kangra, and the Kulu Valley in Himachal Pradesh. This region is well known for its hill stations. The outermost range of the Himalayas is called the Sibalik. They extend over a width. These various plateaus are given here: Aravalli Range, Vindhya Range, Satpura Range, Deccan Plateau. Okay, everything it is given here. Here is the Himalayas of 10 to 50 kilometers and have an altitude varying between 900 and 1100 meter. These ranges are composed of unconsolidated sediments brought down by rivers from the main Himalayan ranges located further north. These valleys are covered with thick gravel and alluvium. The longitudinal value lying between Lesser Himalaya and the Sivalik are known as the dunes. Dehra Dune, Kotli Dune, and the Patli Dune are some of the well-known dunes. Besides the longitudinal divisions, the Himalayas have been divided on the basis of regions from west to east. These divisions have been demarcated by river valleys. For example, the part of the Himalayas lying between the Indus and the Satluj has been traditionally known as Punjab Himalaya, but it is also known regionally as Kashmir and Himachal Himalaya from west to east respectively. The part of the Himalayas lying between Satluj and Kali rivers is known as the Kumeun Himalayas. The Kali and Teesta rivers demarcate the Himalayan Nepal Himalayas and the part lying between Teesta and Dihang rivers is known as the Assam Himalayas. These are regional names also in this board. Also in the board categories. Find out some regional names of the Himalayas. The Brahmaputra mark the easternmost boundary of the Himalayas. Beyond the Dihang Jor, the Himalayas bend sharply to the south and spread along the eastern boundary of India. They are known as Purvajal or the eastern hills and mountains. These hills running through the northeastern states are mostly composed of strong sandstones, which are sedimentary rocks covered with dense forests. They mostly run as parallel ranges and valleys. Purvajal comprises the Patka Hills and the Naga Hills, the Manipur Hills and the Mizo Hills. The Northern Plain. The Northern Plain has been formed by the interplay of the three major river systems, namely the Indus, Ganga and the Brahmaputra, along with the tributaries. This plain is formed of alluvial soil. The deposition of alluvium is a vast basin lying at the foothills of the Himalaya over millions of years formed this fertile plain. It spread over an area of 7 lakh square kilometers. The plain being about 2,400 km long and 240 to 340 km broad is a densely populated physiographic division. With a rich soil cover combined with adequate water supply and favorable climate, it is agriculturally a productive part of India. The northern plain is broadly divided into three sections. The western part of the northern plain is referred to as the Punjab Plains, formed by the Indus and the tributaries. The larger part of the plain lies in Pakistan. The Indus and the tributaries, the Jhelum and the Chenab, Ravi, Beas, and the Satluj originate in the Himalaya. This section of the plain is dominated by the Doabs. Doabs is made up of two words, do meaning two and ab meaning water. Similarly, Punjab also is made up of two words, Panch meaning five and ab meaning water. The Ganga Plain extends between the Gagar and Teesta rivers. It is spread over North India in the Haryana, Delhi, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, partially Jharkhand and West Bengal. In the east, particularly in Assam, lies the Brahmaputra Plain. The northern plains are generally described as flat land with no variations in its relief. It is not true. These vast plains also have diverse relief features. According to the variations in the relief features, the northern plains can be divided into four regions. The rivers, after descending from the mountains, deposit pebbles in a narrow belt of about 8 to 16 km in width lying parallel to the slopes of the Shivalik. It is known as Barber. All the streams disappear in this Barber belt. South of this belt, the streams and rivers re-emerge and create a wet, swampy and marshy region known as the Terai. This was a thickly forested region full of wildlife. The forests have been cleared to create agricultural land and to settle migrants from Pakistan after partition. Locate Dudhwa National Park in this region. The largest part of the northern plain is formed of older alluvium. It lies above the floodplains of the rivers and present a terrace-like feature. This part is known as the Banga. The soil in this region contains calcareous deposits locally known as Kanga. The newer, younger deposits of the floodplains are called Kada. They are renewed almost every year and so are fertile, thus ideal for intensive agriculture. Peninsular Plateau. The Peninsular Plateau is a tableland composed of old, crystalline, igneous, and metamorphic rocks. It was formed due to the breaking and drifting of the Gondwana land and thus making it a part of the oldest landmass. The plateau has broad and shallow valleys and rounded hills. This plateau consisted of two broad divisions, namely the Central Highlands and the Deccan Plateau. The part of the Peninsular Plateau lying to the north of the Narmada River, covering a major area of the Malwa Plateau, is known as the Central Highlands. The Vindhyan Range is bounded by the Satpura Range on the south and the Aravallis on the northwest. The further westward extension gradually merges with the sandy and rocky desert of Rajasthan. The flow of the rivers draining this region, namely the Chambal, the Sindh, the Betwa, and the Can, is from southwest to the northeast, thus indicating the slope. The central highlands are wider in the west but narrower in the east. Eastward extensions of this plateau are locally known as the Bundelkhand and Bagalkhand. The Chotanagpur Plateau marks the further eastward extension drained by the Damodar River. The Deccan Plateau is a triangular landmass that lies to the south of the river Narmada. The Satpura Range flanks its broad base in the north, while the Mahadev, the Kaimur Hills, and the Maikal Range from its eastern extensions locate these hills and ranges in the physical map of India. The Deccan Plateau is higher in the west and slopes gently eastwards. An extension of the plateau is also visible in the northeast, locally known as the Meghalaya, Karbi, Anglong Plateau, and the North Kachar Hills. It is separated by a fault from the Chotanagpur Plateau. Three prominent hill ranges from the west to the east are the Garo, Khasi, and the Jaintia Hills. The Western Ghats and the Eastern Ghats mark the western and the eastern edges of the Deccan Plateau, respectively. Western Ghats lie parallel to the western coast. They are continuous and can be crossed through passes only. Locate the Thal, Bor, and Pal Ghats in the physical map of India. The western, here is a waterfall in Chotanagpur Plateau. The western Ghats are higher than the eastern Ghats. The average elevation is 900 to 1600 meters as against 600 meters of the eastern Ghats. Eastern Ghats stretch from the Mahanadi Valley to the Nilgiris in the south. Eastern Ghats are discontinuous and irregular and dissected by rivers draining into the Bay of Bengal. The Western Ghats cause orographic rain by facing the rain-bearing moist winds to rise along the western slopes of the Ghats. Western Ghats are known by different local names. The height of the Western Ghat progressively increases from north to south. The highest peak include the Anamudi, 2,695 meters, the Dodabetta, 2,637 meters, Mahendragiri, 1,501 meters, is the highest peak in the Eastern Ghats. Chevra Hills and the Javadi Hills are located to the southeast of the Eastern Ghats. Locate the famous hill stations of Udagamandalam, popularly known as Ooty and Kodaikanal. One of the distinct features of Peninsula Plateau is the black soil area known as the Deccan Trap. This is also of volcanic origin, hence the rocks are igneous. Actually, these rocks have denuded over time and are responsible for the formation of the black soil. Aravalli Hills lies on the western and the northwestern margins of the Peninsula Plateau. These are highly eroded hills and are found as broken hills. They extend from the Gujarat to Delhi in the southwest northeast direction. Indian Desert. Indian Desert lies towards the western margins of the Aravalli Hills. It is an undulating sandy plain covered with sand dunes. This region receives very low rainfall, below 150 mm per year. It has arid climate with low vegetation cover. Streams appear during the rainy season. Soon after they disappear into the sand as they do not have enough water to reach the sea. Luni is the only large river in this region. Barchans, crescent-shaped dunes cover larger areas, but longitudinal dunes become more prominent near the Indo-Pakistan boundary. If you visit Jaisalmer, you may go to see a group of Barchans. The coastal plains. The Peninsula Plateau is flanked by stretch of narrow coastal strips running along the Arabian Sea on the west, Bay of Bengal on the east, the western coast sandwiched between the Western Ghats and the Arabian Sea is a narrow plain. Consisted of three sections. The northern is part of the coast. It is called the Konkan, Mumbai, Goa. The central stretch it is called the Kannad Plain, while the southern stretch it is referred to as the Malabar Coast. The plains along the Bay of Bengal are wide and level. In the northern part, it is referred to as the Northern Kirzar, while the southern part it is known as the Coromandel Coast. Large rivers such as the Mahanadi, Godavari, Krishna, and the Kaveri have formed extensive delta on its coast. Lake Chilka is an important feature along the eastern coast. The islands. You have already seen that India has a vast main island. Beside this, the country has two groups of islands. Can you identify this island group? Locate the Lakshadweep Island group lying close to the Malabar coast of Kerala. This group of islands is composed of small coral islands. Earlier they were known as Lakadiv, Minicoy and Amindive. In 1973, these were named as Lakshadweep. It covers small area of 32 square kilometer. Kavaratti Island is the administrative headquarters of Lakshadweep. This island group has great diversity of flora and fauna. Piti Island, which is uninhabited, has a bird sanctuary. Coral polyps are short-lived microscopic organisms which live in colonies. They flourish in shallow, mud-free and warm waters. They secrete calcium carbonate, oral secretion, and the skeletons from coral deposits in the form of reefs. They are mainly of three kinds: barrier reef, fringing relief, and atolls. The Great Barrier Reef of Australia is a good example of the first kind of coral reefs. Atolls are a circular or horseshoe-shaped coral reefs. Now you see the elongated chain of islands located in the Bay of Bengal, extending from north to south. These are Andaman and Nicobar Islands. They are bigger in size and are more numerous and scattered. And a group of islands is divided into two broad categories, and Andaman in the north, Nicobar in the south. It is believed that these islands are an elevated portion of submarine mountains. These island groups are of great strategic importance for the country. There is a great division of flora and fauna in this group of islands too. These islands lie close to the equator and experience equatorial climate and has thick forest cover. India's only active volcano is formed on Barren Island in Andaman and Nicobar group of islands. A detailed account of the different physiographic units highlights the unique feature of each region. It would, however, be clear that each region complements the other and makes the country richer in its natural resources, mountains, and the major sources of water and forest wealth. The northern plains are the granaries of the country. They provide the base for rich early civilizations. The plateau is a storehouse of minerals which has played a crucial role in the industrializations of the country. The coastal region and island groups provide siting for fishing and port activities. Thus, the diverse physical features of the land have immense future possibilities of development. So that's all about this chapter. If you're interested, please do like, share and subscribe my channel. Okay, thank you.